This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang!
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Gear up for a hilarious night when Dane Cook returns to the Island Event Center. You can see his legendary style of stand-up live at Treasure Island Friday, October 24th. Get all the details now at ticasino.com.
Upon us, 9 to noon. Our first show of the 2025 season at TCO Studios in Eagan, and we're patiently awaiting the arrival of head coach Kevin O'Connell, which will be a weekly staple as part of these Tuesday shows, 9 to noon, when we are blessed enough to be out here at Eagan and finishing up meetings, finding his way down here. And I do want to thank everybody for the talkbacks. As PA mentioned earlier, we're going to be producing a bunch more of those into the Wednesday show as well. Hardline takes on what we want to see from the 2025 Minnesota Vikings. We'll get to hear the coach's thoughts on it momentarily, but your thoughts for the Rubes. And I do want to appreciate Jimmy. He'll get to hear the talkback of the day with the coach, Kevin O'Connell. Terrific question, but again, via the free iHeartRadio app. The ability to chime in and participate 9 to noon. We know you're listening and we love you for it. But the ability to hit that microphone, give us up to your best 30 seconds and contribute to the show, we greatly appreciate it. And it's kind of a celebration here at TCO.
Indeed.
This morning, 9 to noon. And
Coach walking from office to studio.
And so as he walks into his first dalliance into X's and O's with head coach Kevin O'Connell, which he was nice enough to start doing live with us, I believe, at the beginning of last season, we're going to get his takes on how 2025 is about to lift off and what is new as we've discussed it, what is new from the coach's perspective, and maybe expectations and how he's going to go through not training camp, not joint practices, not levying out reps to certain running backs. How is he going to manage? In some ways, that word can have negative connotations to it, but how is he going to manage J.J. McCarthy's first start and first plays in the NFL? I'm just really excited to hear what the coach has to say about that, because the expectations are huge and the opportunities are huge for the kid, and the ability for this kid to step in Chi-Town, bright lights, Soldier Field, New Sod, Bermuda, Tahoma 31 or not. What this thing's going to look like on Monday night is beyond fascinating with what is new. And we are now pleased to present the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, right here in TCO Studios with our own Paul Allen.
What's up, buddy?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. Fun time of the year. How long? Super fun time of the year. How long have you guys worked on this Bears game? And by the way, it's great to have you back. Good to see you again.
It's great to see you guys. Yeah, we had a really good training camp, but we started transitioning to this really good Bears team, and with what Ben's got going on and DA on the defensive side, we've tried to transition and get our work in, methodically here, basically since right before the Tennessee game. So we've been at it for a while. You want to make sure you don't go in with 1,000 plays. We want to have great execution and excited for our guys.
And this is X's and O's with Kevin O'Connell, and I'm Paul Allen. Vikings and Bears shortly after 7 o'clock on Monday night, season opener, Monday Night Football, Vikings at Bears. Now, it always fascinates me, and whether it's your response or response that I hear, when coaches are going against teams that have new coaches. And I'm sure somebody talked about you coming from the Rams and McVay and middle zone and just a bunch of different things. But Ben Johnson, head coach of the Bears, Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. What fascinates me is they're going to be set in things they know are tried and true for them, but the personnel's different. So therefore, does it come to meshing like their will versus what's best for the players? No, this is the scheme. We're going to do it this way. Or putting the players in the best position to succeed. That's all coming at you, man.
Yeah, and I think, the important thing for week one and really the early part of the season is you've got to prepare your team. You have plans for what you may see, but so much of it is you got to be ready for unscouted looks as well. I mean, nobody is really, especially, new coaching staffs that are just starting fresh. Nobody's showing their hand in any capacity in the preseason, and rightly so. I mean, you want to try to have any element of an advantage schematically you can have, and a lot of times in week one, there's things on all sides that players will have to react to and play fast. So what have you done to prepare those guys for the different answers that you may need, regardless of what you are anticipating maybe getting, and you try to work through it from there, and you make sure that ultimately the things you've been practicing, the things you've really worked on, the principles of how you want to play, maintain no matter, schematically where you maybe have to go with the ebbs and flows of the game on Monday night.
What are you liking about J.J. McCarthy up to the season opener?
Yeah, I think he had a really good training camp where there was some real competitive moments where he responded really well. The joint practice, he had some great work there, and really kind of the day over day, seeing him grow in a really quick timeline there. And then I just like the way he's handled it from really the spring until now. But as we know, it's going to be, a big moment for him. We know that, and we want to basically surround him with, the best guys we can in the huddle. We feel like we've done that. We feel like the other side of the ball is going to play good football defensively for us, as well as in the kicking game. And then it's just going to come down to a lot of really boring things that probably don't fill a lot of great time, 9 to noon or in the pregame show, but
are required.
It's going to come down to, footwork and his comfort in doing the things that he's done a lot now, on the practice field and throughout, this off season, really since we got going in April, and how consistent can he be despite, it being Monday Night Football and a road start. We know the place is going to be rocking there. They're excited about their team, and we're excited about ours. So what that means is we need to make it about execution. We need to make it about play style. We need to make it about the things that we talk about as a team, and that's got to come to life. And if it doesn't, then we're gonna, we didn't do a very good job preparing the team. And I just believe that it's the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. It's one of 17 this season. It's a divisional opponent on the road. They're very important games, obviously, but I think it comes down to a lot of really minute details of how comfortable all of our guys are, not just our quarterback, going and executing that playing fast, the physicality of it, and all the things that makes our game so great, come to life on Monday night.
How did you feel into your first game as head coach of the Minnesota Vikings? I mean, you're at home. It's the Green Bay Packers, so it's a big game. They're all big. But I'm just trying to figure out how he's going, because you can program and train and raise, but when he runs out there at Soldier Field for the first time and Montez is over here, and this is, what I'm saying, he'll be ready for it, but nevertheless,
I think I got to get you ready for it, it sounds like.
What do you mean?
This the excitement level. If we didn't have you buckled into that chair,
I'm going to be honest with you, and I've said it 9 to noon before. I mean, I've done this many years. This is the most excited I've been for a season opener since 2009 with Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And it's not like the last 3 with you. I'm excited for all of them. This is so compelling with the kid at quarterback, the guy coaching them, and what everybody's seen and said about him. And it's on the road. It's standalone.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready to go for this thing right now, man.
No, I hear you. And you just go.
But how'd you feel into that game?
Yeah, I think you can quiet a lot of nerves and some of the things that you can control by your preparation.
Mm-hmm.
When I look back on that, not only our team, but I felt really prepared for that moment. And then, the first time our offense goes down and scores, and I want to jump and look at the Surface tablet like I have done for my whole career, and I'm not watching the defense, and somebody's screaming challenge the play, and I haven't even seen it.
Ooh.
I realize no matter how much I prepared, you're then going to react in the moment and strive to be the best version of yourself that day that you can become. I think a big thing is I'm very much excited to see our team play. I'm very much excited to see JJ take the field and play. But at the same time, I have to have a little bit bigger picture mentality towards things, and maybe just the lead in and then the ebbs and flows of the game. We've got to be prepared for that, and we've got to coach our way through the football game against what I believe is going to be a really good team. I've got all the respect in the world for Ben, for DA, just for how they've built that thing up from the top down, and we're going to need to play good football to win the game, and we know that, and that's going to be the case. We play in the hardest division in football. There's no questioning that. I don't really believe so. Every time you play a divisional game in the NFC North, you're going to have to play well. You're going to have to do simple principles of winning football to give yourself the best chance to win.
How frequently are McCarthy, Wentz, and Brosmer peppering you for information, given there's just so much new to your quarterback's room?
Yeah, I think those guys it's been really cool to see that group come together. Carson's been awesome since we brought him in here, and Max, obviously everybody saw Max, take a good amount of reps in the preseason games, but it's been what he's done every single day, really to not only solidify his current role, but just we think Max has a really bright future, and then obviously JJ, I already said, had a really good camp, and the way those 3 guys have come together with Josh and Jordan in the room, and now it's about routine.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's about the routine, both the time we have with them, what are they doing on their own time as they digest the game plan officially here, as we've kind of already gotten into it this week. What are they doing to make sure they're doing everything in their control to be totally prepared? And it starts obviously with JJ, but Carson and Max being ready to go as well.
And with Brosmer, and the reason I bring him up is it's so infrequent that college free agent quarterbacks make a final 53. I mean, it's college free agents will always make teams. Quarterbacks, that's not generally the case.
Yeah.
But with Brosmer and his stark improvement ever since he got here, and he was good for PJ, but the practices are now designed to beat the next in line. So how does Max improve during the season?
Yeah, I think, people have to understand there wasn't, when you're trying to get as many reps for JJ as you can, and we were, trying to give, both Sam and Brett, opportunities as well. There just weren't a lot of physical, real reps early on, especially in camp, going back to the off-season program. So what you're seeing is a guy that is taking some of the traits that you look for before you've ever seen him step foot on the field in those preseason games and run the show. You're seeing traits that correlate, meaning he's not taking the rep, but you can see him, either physically taking the rep from behind the drill and taking the footwork, and you see him going through progressions, and then you get in the meeting room and you hear unbelievable questions and just overall awareness to this isn't just another undrafted free agent rookie just trying to kind of survive his way to the practice squad. It did not feel like that from day one. And then I think, Gopher fans can probably attest to this as well, but it's the presence that he had in the actual football games, in many cases with guys that also didn't get a lot of reps. And his factor that ultimately was always on display in those games was he had a make it right factor to him, which is, some people call it figure it outness, some people call it make it right.
Yes.
He found a way to move the team. He found a way in some very difficult circumstances sometimes to make a throw, the only one required on that play, which, wasn't always a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. At some he had to change the way he threw the ball. He had to anticipate. He had to do things that you're checking a lot of boxes, even though I know our fans have been anticipating Monday Night Football against the Bears, but hopefully we didn't overlook some of the things and performances that not only Max, but a lot of the young players that ended up making our team.
Lastly, with the quarterbacks for Kevin O'Connell, coach of the Vikings, on X's and O's with Wentz, you won't, I'm sure you know this, but you won't find a better person to add to the culture covenant. But what's the process of getting him up to speed in a very short amount of time?
Yeah, I think the good thing is he's got some exposure to some of the base core things we do. He spent a year in LA with Sean, and there's enough carryover there where you can kind of work backwards from you kind of ask him a little bit to bring some principles, because I think Andy Reid's one of the best in football at what he does, not only as a play caller, but just overall coaching offense in the quarterback position. You don't want him to, hey, those principles that you're coming off of, in a quarterback room with Patrick Mahomes and that type of organization, you want to make sure that, you can allow him to apply some of those things. This guy had some unbelievable performances early on in his career. He was, third in the MVP voting at one point for a reason. He's big, he's strong, he can see, and he's very smart. And I've been really pleased with how he's thrown the football. There's going to be some things, maybe it's not exactly footwork fundamentals and that you would coach over a long period of time like you would with maybe JJ or Max. But at the same time, what's it like getting to the position at the top of the drop, regardless of maybe how he gets there? Can we get him playing with great base, great balance to his fundamentals regardless? And then on top of that, the guy was a first-round pick, top 5 pick for a reason. He's got physical ability, both on schedule and off schedule, that we've already kind of seen come to life in practice. So then it's about, as we get closer to the game, and we've had more time than, say, we did with Josh Dobbs, pre-Atlanta in 2023. We've got some time now to really allow Carson to absorb the information, see where he's at, and then he might not necessarily go in with the same menu of plays that we have for our, for JJ or that first group of guys. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's not far off with his capacity and his ability to come in here and apply all of his experiences into being a guy that's one snap away we feel really good about.
To the Minnesota Vikings defense with Kevin O'Connell. And let's begin that with our weekly talkback for the head coach. It's a Talkback Tuesday. He's Kevin O'Connell, and I believe this man's name is Jimmy, and here they are.
Hey, Coach, this here is Jimmy. Question for you. How involved do you get on the defensive side? And how involved does our illustrious defensive coordinator get involved on the offensive side? Do you guys have a pretty good collaborative relationship there? I'm just curious on how it works internally. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
God bless.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy.
God bless you.
It's a great question. It's been probably, outside of seeing our defense play at a really high level, one of the best things that happens each and every week is Flo and I spend a good amount of time together. Just overall, he's not only a former head coach, but, we both come from the same initial kind of farming grounds of Foxborough, where you learned a lot from Coach Belichick on the things that it's going to be required. What's it going to take to win the game? What are the things that we need to make sure we emphasize as a team? And then how those puzzle pieces fit, even though the offense is never on the same on the field at the same time as the defense. There is such thing as a complementary nature to everything you want your team doing. How are they going to play? How are my decisions going to be tied on fourth down? Or, how valuable are points versus, field goals versus touchdowns? And what type of plays are we going to do to limit exposure? Maybe, have the risk for some negative plays, but the reward of explosive plays might be out there. You're always balancing that. And then how does that tie in with what Flo's plans are? We'll spend a good amount of time later today where, his game plan, at least initially here has been brought to life. And I'll talk a little bit about the offensive side. There could be some questions. Some of the best plays we've had on offense, the final touch is, hey, Flo, what do you think on this? Here's what I'm trying to do. What kind of a response do you think that's going to elicit from this hook player? Or maybe it's a formational thing of how they would treat it. Whether there's a similarity to our defense to somebody else or not, there's just good principles of defensive football that I know Flo is going to bring another layer of information to me, and we do the same thing on offense. There's quite a few systems around the league, really including the one we'll play Monday night, that have some foundational kind of pieces that there's some similar aspects of it because, I obviously was with Jared Goff in LA. I think Ben and Jared did some unbelievable things together in Detroit, but a lot of that was a collaboration between those guys to build what Jared was comfortable with and dipping into his background. And a lot of that is kind of fast forward now to obviously really, really great years for Ben in Detroit. Now he's running his own show there in Chicago. So I think there's some things that you can kind of look at. Now, Flo obviously has experience going up against Ben as the offensive play caller here. So he's got a lot to carry over from previous wins, losses, the ability to understand what worked, what didn't, and what's the next layer. I think what makes great coaches in this league, regardless of offense, defense, or even in the kicking game, is what are the layers to how you play. Yeah. And some people call them wrinkles, some people, whatever you want to call them, but you're just applying minute, tiny little things, change of technique, fundamentals, alignments, assignments, that, we like to call it easy for us, hard for them, make it seem to be things that are massive things that need to be talked about by the opposing side and have answers for, but yet our guys can seamlessly do it and play as fast as possible.
Defensive tackle, defensive lineman Jonathan Allen. How is he expected to help, and what are you liking about your D-line depth?
Yeah, I think it's J.A. and it's Hargrave. Those guys have brought a level of playmaking to the interior where it's not just the assignment. It's one of them is going to find their way into some one-on-one matchups, both in the run and pass game. So one of them is going to find their way maybe working together in the interior of, some different stunts and games that you can do, all well known. We've got those edge players ripping off the edge where we feel like, obviously JG, Gink, and Dallas have all been phenomenal. I mean, all three of those guys. I know Gink, working his way back here, he's doing really well, and we're in a situation where we really feel like we've got three starters on the outside. We feel like we've got depth players behind those guys, and then the same goes for that interior of the D-line with versatility and youth behind two really impactful players that we felt very strongly about adding to our team, and those guys have brought all of that and more. I'm excited to see those guys get to truly turn it loose and go play and try to change the game, because I think we're going to be different defensively purely on what some of this personnel up front can bring to the table in regards to just good old fashioned, physicality and playing the game a certain way.
What are Jeff Okudah? What are some keys to him having success for you as an outside corner? Because you're like, defensively, I think people are going to understand inside. It's just not, I think, alignment or assignment focused or whatever. Whatever leads to that. But with Okudah, he's so strong at the line of scrimmage that's where it starts with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff has he's done a really nice job throughout training camp and really solidifying what we believe his role is going to be for us. But it also goes back to what many envisioned for him coming out of Ohio State was this guy is big, he's strong, he's got elite athletic traits of being able to kind of tie it all together. It's just consistency, and it's just trusting in the confidence level we have in him, he has in himself, and how many snaps can you go out and allow the best parts of your game to help you play consistent and rely on those things. And certainly the physicality at which he plays with PA at the line of scrimmage, disrupting the timing and rhythm of not only the guy he's defending, but how that player then fits into the concept for these good offenses that are truly reading full field and have 5 potential eligibles. And then I think he's got some physicality traits in the run game as a tackler and a guy that's willing to, add to your 1 of 11 from a play style and physicality standpoint as a tackler and going at the football and creating more opportunities for our defense to pick up right where they left off, which is forcing turnovers and causing havoc as much as possible for the opposing side.
And Kevin's defense sacked Caleb Williams 5 times last year. He quarterback for the Bears. He was sacked a league high 68 times last year. Are you expecting more of a quick game from them maybe starting Monday?
Well, I just think you're going to see good principles of offense regardless. I think you're going to see some, definitely some plays where the ball's coming out, trying to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. They've got some really good players really across their entire offensive unit, backfield, tight end, receiver, clearly. And I think it's going to be how many times can they put the ball in play and find positive success and give their guys a chance to make some yards after catch. And then there's going to be, any really good offense that wants to run the ball. And then obviously the play action game is going to be critical for them. And, obviously Caleb's a very, very talented player. He can make every throw. He clearly can play on schedule. He can play off schedule. But what are the things that you can do to try to either have your matchups be what they want across the board, to allow that kind of rush and coverage to work together to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. And then, as we learned, many times last year, he is dangerous as any player in our league when he gets out on the perimeter as a run-pass threat. He keeps his eyes up and he can touch every blade of grass on the run, moving deep, short. Really, you have to defend through the duration of the down, regardless of you might have had the perfect call on, you might have had a free runner, you might have had everybody locked down in coverage, but how do we tie it all together to really try to limit? You're never going to eliminate all of those plays, but can you limit them so that can't be the driving force why they're able to move the ball consistently?
How deeply are you sweating your injuries up to the season opener? Is it like a week-long sweat, or you think things will get squared away?
No, I think our guys everybody's got their individual situations, and everybody's doing the best they can to make it back, and we'll get our team prepared. We feel like we have a very deep team, across the board with the performances that we've seen, not only with the reason why certain players are here, but also how they fit within our schemes, to allow us to know we can anticipate and have confidence with how we're going to coach the team and the execution we're going to get from that.
Oh, and lastly, I promise, how much does the actual surface at a place like Soldier Field, like how much? Well, it matters when you get out there and you might step on it and be like, oh, geez, equipment's going to have to figure out what studs to use, blah, blah, blah. But I seem to be the only one that's a little wrapped up in this right now. And granted, we're 6 days in front of the game. They had 5 consecutive concerts at Soldier Field. Last one last night. Oasis had 50 to 60,000 people there. Every blade of grass, as you would say, has been trampled. So WGN reports they're replacing their sod does that mean the whole field, patches of the field? Because I mean, seriously, there could be seams. Like, how much do you pay attention to that?
Yeah, I mean, this is professional football, so our anticipation is the surface is going to be...
Got it. I'm the only one. I got it.
It's going to be good enough to play on. But I would say this, at some point, the guys in purple and white aren't going to be the only ones playing on the surface. So we've got to do our best to establish through a lot of different people once we arrive, we've had a chance to step foot. We've got to have our players prepared to play on whatever surface is. And truly, Monday Night Football, NFC North, if they want to clear out some space in the parking lot, we can play out there too. I mean, at this point, I would say that is not incredibly high on my priority list. But
Roma Dunze this, Bermuda grass that, right?
But I would say it's clearly, we've seen, maybe at another location here in the NFC North that happens to have grass in a unique climate. We've seen that surface play a major role before, so we want to make sure that we're doing our part to prepare our players. It's something I will talk about with the guys. We'll have the equipment available, and we'll go play football.
So Lundeen, Peterson, or Martin are not flying out Friday, sneaking in, grabbing a chunk, coming back before you leave Sunday?
Knowing those guys, they might have been at Oasis, so maybe they got a head start.
You're awesome, man.
Yeah.
God bless you. Good seeing you.
Thank you. Great seeing you.
Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. That's weekly X's and O's, 9 to noon. Back after this.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will. Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This is Rob Gronkowski from Dudes on Dudes. Anyone else feeling hungry? Because Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You can stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, mozzarella sticks and marinara, or brew pub pretzels and white cheddar beer cheese. Or you can spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. The choice is yours. The Ultimate Trio is the perfect way to hit all your cravings in one plate and turn appetizers into an entree. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Pack your bags. The Power Trip Morning Show is taking over Vegas October 23rd through the 26th, live from Tom's Watch Bar with 2 huge football watch parties. And the best part, you do Vegas your way. Stay where you want, fly how you want, and party with us in Sin City. Don't miss out. Get all the details, KFAN.com/Vegas.
What a treat, what an honor, and what a weekly occurrence, 9 to noon, with the reigning coach of the year, Kevin O'Connell. Nice enough to join us for 25 to 30 minutes of conversation from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center that debuted last year. The Vikings PR staff playing fast as usual. They have some new tricks up their sleeve this year. But Jeff Anderson and his group started last year with, hey, what do you think about Justin Jefferson joining from the sideline during preseason games? What do you think about Kevin O'Connell joining from the sideline during preseason games? Through X's and O's with Kevin O'Connell now being done live on KFAN and 9 to noon. And the preseason stuff on the sideline with the player and the coach continued this year. So we, if we don't say it enough, we do greatly appreciate, all of you thinking about KFAN and 9 to noon as much as you do. And, you can expect that each and every Tuesday. And that includes, I believe, next Tuesday, despite, getting back very late from the Windy City after, really what should be a victory over the Chicago Bears. As we're not in guaranteeing win mode here, 9 to noon. We generally don't treat it like that. But we feel out the games and we get the past performances ready. We put the whole thing together. And then yours truly gets a feel for a game where I'm like, well, this team absolutely should win. And here's why. And we're 6 days in front of the game, but I put a lot of time into this, over the weekend. And, I don't want to say I'd be surprised if the Vikings don't win, but I think the Vikings have some major advantages in this game as a 1.5, 2-point favorite. And it all begins on Monday night as part of the NFC North. The Detroit Lions are at the Green Bay Packers. That's the other NFC North game. So 4 teams and 2 games over the weekend, which leads us to NFC North Bites provided by.
Yes, NFC North Bites or Nibbles, always brought to you one way or the other, whether it's about us, the purple, or the green and gold at all in the NFC North. It's brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef.
Kenny Clark.
And you can shop online, and box of meat will show up at your doorstep. You can go to Coburn's, Co-ops, and Kowalski's locations as well. Elite, nutrient-dense beef. And so thank you, Thousand Hills, Minnesota company, Clearwater, Minnesota's finest. I want to start with this kind of news popping here from a border battle perspective. Now, we don't have to worry about Green Bay for a while, but you mentioned the Kitties are going to be at Lambeau on Sunday.
Yep.
And our guy, Adam Schefter, reporting this via ESPN.com. This was yesterday. Rob Domofsky wrote the article. But Micah Parsons has been dealing with an L4, L5 facet joint sprain in his back and may receive an injection before Sunday's game against the Lions. This, again, sourcing done by Adam Schefter. And then have to scroll down a little bit. Okay, we got some Domofsky X clips, etc. Parsons is trying to play in Sunday's regular season opener against the Lions at Lambeau Field, although one source told Schefter it is still not certain if he will.
Yeah.
So everyone pumped about having Parsons in town, but this back thing popped, and now
real.
That's a talker for Packers fans.
Yeah, and when Micah was with the Dallas Cowboys, and there had been reports of him dealing with a back problem for quite some time, weeks if not months. But it's when he was searching for new tenure and new money, well, if it was the metaphorical bet, hold in or hold out, or real significant back deals, I think the majority of the people would have bet, well, he's holding in, that there is either no back problem or a minimal back problem where he's saying, like, it hurts when I turn this way, to avoid what now are mandated fines by the National Football League, where if you miss time trying to sweat new money, well, it's like, say you run up a tab of $350,000. Well, it can't be wiped away anymore. You got to pay it.
Can't forgive him. Yep.
Right. Well, then they have a preseason game and he's laying on the training table at home during the game. And there were some scribes and columnists and loudmouths on the radio and stuff like that who were just killing him, saying, this is so disrespectful. You're doing this, laying on the table and got your hands on your forehead, acting like you're in pain or pretending like you're asleep. It turns out he probably was in pain.
Yeah.
Or he's going through something. Now, the other side of it, and this is fair. Somebody brought this up to me yesterday. I'm not going to say there is a big chance Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is planting all of this and wants to control the narrative, but there is a chance.
It's a non-zero chance.
It's and I'm not even going to go down the road on whether it's a 10 or an 80. But there are those who wield a lot of power in the National Football League from a media standpoint and obviously an ownership standpoint. And, when it comes to figuring out how to beat Dennis Allen's defense or Flo, trying to figure out how to slow Ben Johnson's offense, you'll hear us say frequently, the beauty of it is we know that you know that we know that you know that they know that we know that you know. All right, so that's how far in a play you go because we know Montez is coming from here. Okay, well, we know you're going to block it like this. Oh, yeah? Well, we know that you're going to do this with DeAndre. And we're like, yeah, cool. Well, we know. The Bears are like, well, we know you're going to do this with Cashman. So it goes back and forth like that. That back-scratching type thing takes place in the National Football League where it's like, dog, I'm giving you this information. I'm quasi-offended that you would ask me if I'm lying. And do you happen to remember when so-and-so became inactive for 7 games and he's a big-name player and nobody had it and I gave it to you? Go with it. And they go with it.
Yeah.
And that's how the game works. Honest or seedy as it can be. So for me, it's not elevator music. It can't go in one ear and out the other because I do believe that there's a back situation with Micah Parsons. I do believe, when you're starting to say somebody's getting an epidural the day of the game, well, it behooves the Green Bay Packers immediately to come out and say, this is hogwash.
Yeah.
Okay, I control the epidurals. Ain't nobody getting an epidural day of game. But they're also not obligated to share what's going on with his back.
Right.
So the injury report starts coming out Thursday for a game on Wednesday for a game on Sunday. And that's the next step we're going to take. If I'm a Packers fan, I don't exactly know how to feel right now because you get him and it's going to make a difference. And it's really going to help Rashawn Gary too. It's going to help the whole defense if he's 10 of 10. He's not 10 of 10. That is fact. He's not 10 of 10 because of this back. Is he a 9 of 10 or a 6 of 10? Who knows? Then also the petulance that can be the Dallas Cowboys and or Jerry Jones, the owner. Well, now all of a sudden, we didn't talk about this before as loudly as he does now, but now all of a sudden, Micah Parsons sucks against the run. Now all of a sudden we want to, and with Micah, it's age old with Micah that it used to be he's not interested in mixing it up in the run force game. Then all of a sudden he runs around stuff to get to the run. So there have been knocks on Micah Parsons' effort level or attention paid to running games. And that's why at the State Fair last week for the Friday Football Feast, we start talking about Micah Parsons. Greenway went down the road first. I followed him. I'm like, yeah, you go right at him. Mason, Darisaw, O'Neal, Fries, Jackson, Jones, at him repeatedly. Beat him down. Beat that back down. Beat that back down, Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell, starting right now. That's the best way. It's not because we think you have a bad back and we want to knock you out. No, that's the way to play Micah Parsons. And it's always been the way to play Micah Parsons. So that's what I think of it. I've thought a lot about it over the weekend because I don't want to be hyperbolic guy or shoe size guy with Minnesota and Green Bay and that foolishness. This is a thing. I just don't know how severe it is.
Final, and this kind of surface level, Lions loving Isaac Tesla, this rookie, this Arkansas Razorback. You and I were talking about Arkansas players last week, and it was like, ooh, Darren McFadden, maybe Tesla, this new receiver the kiddies got. Real just quick surface level, it's 5 days before their game.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at all that the kiddies are almost a field goal dog at Lambeau Field, defending division champion? They go the route they did. They get the bye, best in the NFC a year ago.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, with all the new that I've actually focused on somewhat in a negative light, I'm still kind of surprised they're 2.5 point dogs at Lambeau week 1.
Yeah, I've said Green Bay's going to win this game. And there's so much change with the Lions. For me to believe from the opening boom unfurled by their Vox Dan Miller all the way through the end of the game, everybody's going to be on the same page offensively and defensively on the big second, third, and fourth downs.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So the question is, do you need damage control? Because it is new, but they're so high end. I mean, it just takes one or two gotchas that they've worked on the entire offseason with Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or whomever, where we know we're going to get you here at this part of the game, but are you going to get us with your gotchas? So I'm torn on this game because Detroit beats Green Bay basically every single game since Dan Campbell took over. They beat them up too. I fully expect Detroit to come into this game with a powerhouse backfield that is they're either going to use like tight end Brock Wright, or I don't know if they roster a fullback. But if Micah Parsons plays, he better be ready to play because when you get that kind of attention, that kind of money, you're the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. And now all of a sudden you got what people think is a back, and the team's not coming out saying it's bogus. He better be ready because they are going to mash on him like there's no tomorrow. And we'll see how it plays into the way Green Bay defends Detroit. Toss-up game for me. If I was driving south or east, I wouldn't play it.
My final little nibble on the NFC North, thank you, Thousand Hills. And you kind of touched on this with Wiederer and some Bears conversation we had earlier. Mm-hmm. But Austin Booker was this guy that kind of piqued my interest. And Brad Biggs, who covers the team, he noted they had to put him on IR because of a knee injury. So they're starting the season. You got Montez Sweat. You got Deo Dengbo. But Daniel Hardy and Dominique Robinson would be the two specific defensive ends behind you. And you mentioned this is a team that needs to get more production from the pass rush, from a sack and splash play perspective. That's kind of an L, having to put Austin Booker, who had a terrific preseason, to put him on the IR. That's somebody that we won't have to worry about on Monday night.
Well, I just wonder, Dennis Allen is the new coordinator. There aren't really tells on him. Like, right. Okay, somebody hires Flores. All right, well, 3-4 hybrid with floaters in play with a side dish of Buddy Ryan's 46. I mean, that's what he runs. That's the base. Dennis Allen, 4-3 base, but he likes to blitz. Okay, does with TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds or Byard the third or Stevenson or Kyler Gordon or whomever?
Yeah, where is it going to come from?
Right, and are they comfortable doing it? Because like Antoine Winfield was a fine blitzer. He's the best cornerback in the history of Minnesota Vikings football, and I think Antoine Winfield, low key, should have been a Hall of Fame candidate years ago because of just the time that he put in and how good he was. But anyway, Antoine was a good blitzer, but like when he was on the team, they had a corner from North Carolina State named Brian Williams, or 29. He's one of the best blitzing corners I've ever seen. And he was better at that than Antoine. Okay, well, people would have been like, well, Antoine's better than everything, than every corner you have, better at everything. It's not always the case. So when it comes to Gordon or Stevenson or their DBs or their linebackers, I'm not exactly sure how strong they are on the blitz, but you just got to be careful with that against an offensive-minded play caller who knows that you want to blitz. And if it doesn't get home, then all of a sudden you got four guys against 3, 20 yards down the field. So we'll see how he coordinates it. But the Booker omission is something they're not happy about because they were counting on him as defensive end 3. Final segment next.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, And every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Anyone else feeling hungry? Because Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You could stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, mozzarella sticks and marinara, or brew pub pretzels with white cheddar beer cheese. Or you could spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. The choice is yours. The Ultimate Trio is the perfect way to hit all your cravings in one plate and turn appetizers into an entree. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. That's eating good in the neighborhood.
Let the feast begin. You can join PA at Buffalo Wild Wings in Oakdale this Friday as we kick off Friday Football Feast. You can stop by for nonstop football talk, great wings, drinks, and your shot to win great prizes. Doors open at 8 a.m. Full details now, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Speaking of the Friday Football Feast, as many know, Paul Charchian, the 15-year co-host of the Friday Football Feast from 2009 through now. We had a COVID year where we didn't have any. So decade and a half co-host has relocated west. So the Friday Football Feast, when it settles into stride of exactly what it's going to be, with some new takes and talkers and bits and twists and things like that we think you'll like. It'll be yours truly, Alec Lewis, courtesy of Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com, and Nordo is going to be on site for each and every feast. Save this week because the former co-host wants to hand the baton to Alec Lewis. I don't exactly know what goes into the verbal handing of the baton, but Charch will be with us at Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale this Friday. That's going to be fantastic, and we can't wait to see everybody. But this is probably something that won't come up when he's there, but I'll share it now. This fantasy football league that you and I are in with him, this is the last time I ever do a week and change, 2 hour per pick draft. I just don't like it.
No.
I like the let's all get together, either getting together or doing it online with a minute between picks, and we're done in 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Oh, are you kidding me? It'll be third quarter Philly and Dallas by the time this stupid thing gets over with.
That's how you end up with Rashee Rice and you're not paying attention, or you take the skeletal remains of Amari Cooper like I did. All right, God bless all of you. Thanks for listening to 9 to Noon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Every day has a to-do list, but adding Enjoy Belvita to yours can help you knock out the rest of it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are a tasty and convenient breakfast option when paired with low-fat yogurt and fruit that provides steady energy all morning. While Belvita Energy Snack Bites give you the perfect mid-morning refuel. Best part? They both taste great. So make the most out of your morning with a bite of Belvita. Pick up a pack of Belvita at your local store today.
The day begins at the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club at Boston Logan Airport. You get the clam chowder. In San Diego, it's tostadas. New York, espresso martini. It's 10 a.m. Why not? It's the quiet before your next flight, the shower that resets your day, the menu that lets you know where you are. This is access to over 1,300 airport lounges and every Sapphire Lounge by the club. And one card that gets you in. Chase Sapphire Reserve, the most rewarding card.
Learn more at chase.com/Sapphire Reserve. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval.
Fox One is now live. It's the new way to stream all your Fox favorites all in one place. That means NFL Sundays and college football games, breaking news with the Fox voices you trust, and your favorite shows streamed as they happen so nothing gets spoiled. With Fox One, you get it all live. Edge of your seat plays, jaw-dropping moments, and that feeling like you're right there in the action. Start your 7-day trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Fox One, we live for live. Streaming now.